Hello there, CEOs. What are the top things that are stressing you at this moment? Right? We all have some type of stress in different ways, but what are the top things that are stressing you in regards to your company right now, your business? What is it that is stressing you? I was reading this article just this morning. I'll share the article in the comments if you care to read it. It's from the advisor. And one of the things based on the survey that they did of over about 1,200 small, medium, enterprises, businesses, they were finding that the top stressors that came out for their business was cash flow compliance issues in relating to, you know, being compliant with government requirements. Sometimes there are certain restrictions and things you have to comply to adhere to for government grants as well. There is also the issue with your team. A lot of companies, businesses are having issues with their team at this time, finding staffing for various reasons, right? There is the what's it called? Great migration. I forgot the term just now. Where a lot of persons are leaving the workforce, of course, because of various, situations with our pandemic too. Persons are leaving, not be able to work fully. Different things are happening. A whole lot of things are happening. So we're finding that from this survey that there are a lot of stressors, and it's one thing to have a stressor, but how are you managing that stressor? How are you gonna reduce that impact on you? Because if something is impacting your company, your business, if it's stressing you, then it's going to be impacting you as an individual, right? Because you're going to be, you know, you're going to start thinking about it. How can you solve this problem? How can you get it under control, have a solution? Because, I've been there. I know that even with my clients now, like if they're having an issue, it's like I take it on. I'm thinking about how to get this fixed. So it impacts me. And even when I was in corporate too, there's an issue. Sometimes you go home, it's on your mind. How can you solve this? Or how can you do this better? Or you wake up, you think about it. So stressors are not to be taken lightly because they do impact you in different ways. It's not like oh, this is something that's stressing me and it stops there. So what are you finding as the main stressors for yourself? I'm interested to hear the. I'd be very interested to see the comments, the feedback. What are the things that you're finding as the main stressors at this time for you? Pretty curious to hear that, and I'm sure your sharing will impact other business owners, other CEOs as well too in managing this process. Like, what are some of the things that you're finding that are really stressing you at this time? So one thing is identifying the stressors. That's the first step, right? Sometimes you probably don't even realize something is stressing you. So you start thinking first, okay, what is really stressing you, and then why has it become a stressor? Like, what are some of the steps or the contributors that have led to this being a stressor? So, for example, with compliance, right? Sometimes it could be that because you are behind, there's a backlog with compliance. Unfortunately, you are getting so overwhelmed, right? And how do you fix that? So yes, you try to get caught up, but the other thing too, and other thing is to prevent that from happening again. So setting up systems and processes where you are not having that backlog, you have a process. So the deadline is the 10th, by the 5th, 6th, thereabout, things are on need to be on time. So those reports, those filings are on time. So it's also definitely, excuse me, setting up systems and processes to ensure that you are being compliant, you're not late, being stressed. And again, when it comes to, for example, cash flow, right? Then of course it's having using the tools that will mitigate cash flow being an issue. So you're using tools in your base in your company, such as cash flow forecasts. You're using budgets. You're also, you know, in your bankruptcy, you're also assessing your cash flow situation. So you know in advance we're gonna have a bank overdraft. We're having a shortage of monies coming in. Or, what's happening, are we can we delay some payments, things like those. So keeping a track of that, and of course getting support. A lot of times one of the stressors is thinking that you are thinking or having that pressure on you that you have to do it all on your own, right? And that is such a fallacy, because for sure, getting the right support makes a huge difference. Yes, getting the right support makes a huge difference in your company, in your life. So you do want to ensure that you are really tuning in to see what is it that is really concerning you in your business, leading to stress. And the next step is why did it get to that point? And then the third step is how do we fix it, right? How do we fix this situation? And it's not an overnight process. Let me put that out there quickly, that it's not where, okay, this and everything is fixed. Things take a process, and depending on what is really stressing you, stressing your company, it might just take, long, depend on your business too and all that, your company. So it takes time. So do bear that in mind. It's not about an overnight fix, but it's what I call a long-term fix, right? Where you're setting up systems and processes, positioning your company in a way that you are setting up for the future, long-term success. So, you don't want to have a situation you just did a quick fix, put a band-aid over it, and then in another 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you're back at the same point position. You don't want to have that. That's gonna even stress you more. So do bear in mind, it's so important, especially in these times, to identify what is stressing you. Do know that the statistics again show that mental health concerns and issues are skyrocketed. A lot of persons are going through tough times, mentally, emotionally. So we do want to ensure that we are positioning ourselves to support each other for sure, and also to be able to manage what is causing us stress and so forth. So I will share this article. I'll pop it into the comments if you want to read in more detail the top things that are stressing, the top things that are stressing small, medium enterprises. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to drop them in the chat, or you can send a message to me. You say where you are joining from, of course, and if you have any questions, you can send me a message directly. So your to do, your action list is to really identify what is causing you stress in your company and take the steps to, you know, work through that. And you, again, it's not an overnight fix. You more than likely are going to need support. So you bear that in mind also. And I'm happy to talk with you on what might be stressing you in your business, in your company. And, as a CEO, it's, having that responsibility where you take charge of what is really happening in your company. It leads back to the CEO when things aren't going wrong, when things are going right. So do bear that in mind. So this is Karsha Campbell from the Cash Lab, and thank you so much for tuning in, and we will talk soon again. Signing off in 3, 2, 1. Bye, guys.